Howdy. So this is the edited version of a watch-along that Logan and I did with the film The Ghost in the Darkness. So if you want to listen to the full version where we just kind of talk throughout the movie with gaps in between, so it's just kind of timed out to where you can literally watch the movie while listening to us, like watching the movie with us, I guess, while we're annoyingly talking. You can find that on our website. I'll try to leave the link to that in the notes for this episode. This, however, is just, again, the edited version with all the gaps taken out. So a lot of the stuff we talk about in here may sound completely random or out of context. Just keep in mind that we are literally just watching the film while we are talking. So this is probably going to be really weird compared to most of our episodes. If it doesn't quite work, just kind of give us a pass and know that this is not the intended way to listen to this episode. But I also understand that you don't necessarily want to go out of your way to watch The Ghost in the Darkness. And the sound quality really isn't what I would hoped it would be, just because we recorded it completely different than usual without our usual equipment and in the same room, so you can hear the movie in the background, and it's not great, so feel free to just skip it if you find it too annoying. Anyway, enjoy the show. So welcome to a very special episode of History in Film. This is our Ghost in the Darkness episode, and we're going to try to do a couple different things here. One is a watch-along, so actually let's get that kind of synced up here for you all first. Editor Rich jumping in here again. This is not that version, so I'm just going to jump ahead to after the sync point. But also, even more importantly, this is the first ever episode where Logan and I are in the same room.
Recording at the same time.
Right. Okay, this movie just said we were in London in 1898. 1898. I always do that. I would do that with track times too. Like I'd always say, like I ran the 2 mile in like 2:42. Like I always said the wrong first number.
12:42.
Yeah. Well, 12:42. I was faster than that. But like.
Oh, okay. For you, I thought you were talking about your athletes.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Fair. Oh. Did we lag?
All right, it did lag a little bit, but I think for the most part, it'll probably be all right.
Okay, so I forgot about this. It's the voiceover guy, narrator. He's just one of the locals then, right? And he's kind of telling the story?
Yeah. And we're about to get our first of many bad English accent Val Kilmer lines.
Oh, that's Wilkinson, right? Tom Wilkinson?
Yeah. I like that they took Val Kilmer and put glasses on him and now he's British.
So much more civilized.
So that's actually... Technically, that's true. Like the English was trying to shut down the slave trade in Africa.
Right.
But it definitely had a lot more to do with, the natural resources and, expanding their colonial reaches.
Oh yes, it's like they're definitely self-interested while also pretending to be the benevolent overlords, and even of course the inherent racism of saving Africa from the Africans.
Right. Yeah.
We should mention, so Val Kilmer's character here is based on an actual person. The Patterson guy is real. He actually wrote the book that all this stuff was based off of when he basically got back from these adventures. But I'm pretty sure it didn't say in like a kind of John Smith way that he may have embellished some things, and right. We don't know if we can actually count on 100% of what he said. But the bullet points in this movie seem to be actually pretty darn accurate from what I read.
Other than there's a lot of consolidation of multiple historical figures into like a single character. Like Michael Douglas's character in this is not a real person,
right? But
he was working with other hunters. Just they weren't necessarily all
one
the same
guy, yeah, or even a British guy,
right?
Yeah, we're kind of cutting ahead of the lions here. We don't know that the lions are going to occur yet. We just know that Val Kilmer's pretending to be English and going to go to Africa.
Yes.
Oh, and this is Emily Blunt, right? Or
no.
Mortimer.
Yeah.
Emily Mortimer.
Emily Blunt is
Krasinski's wife. I always get the Emilys mixed up.
He mentioned too that they're competing with the French and the Germans, and I think the Belgians too at this time in the Congo.
Which makes sense when we talked about like Lumumba and all that, which is
right.
obviously way after this. But as far as the Belgian influence in Africa,
so pretty much the entire continent of Africa at this point in history is split up between
Europe, yeah.
European powers.
Yeah, well, if you look at maps at the time of Africa, it's kind of crazy. It's all French West Africa and
right, and there's German East Africa.
Right.
So does it count as a bad British accent if you're actually just not trying to do a British accent? Like it's not bad. It's not bad. He's just not doing one.
That's a good point. It's not necessarily bad if he's just kind of speaking in his regular Val Kilmer voice.
Which, I mean, too soon, but he'd kill to speak in that voice today.
Jesus.
Sorry. Hey, he's still alive at time of recording. But no, props to Val Kilmer. I haven't really heard much bad about him. He seems like a
Did you see the
good guy.
documentary, Val?
Oh no,
I didn't either. I've seen it, pop up on like my For You on Amazon or whatever. Oh, so one thing that I had seen about, earlier they were talking about the slave trade, and that was one of the things that they think actually contributed to the reason that these lions eat people in the first place, is because they'd take these massive slave trains basically right along the route that the railroad was going, throughout the
previous 100 years,
17th and 18th centuries. Yeah. And as you're going along, if you're a slave driver, if you have like sick or dead slaves, it doesn't pay to keep them in your trains.
Right? Why carry them?
They would just kind of ditch them on the side of the road. Well, that made really easy. It was easy. It was like a buffet for the lions.
Right.
And so then they acquired the taste of human flesh. And then as the British come in and stop the slave trade, but then start building the railroad with all these yummy railroad workers, that's why then you get all these lion attacks.
Yes, and it was kind of like, they say it's kind of unique, but that's the reason why it's a theorized, very plausible reason that would make sense.
Yeah.
I'll have to fact check that. Is that true? I can't imagine that's true. Did Jeffs only sleep 5 minutes a day?
I don't know. I'm actually going to Google that right now.
Okay. Do a live fact check here. It'd be kind of funny, though, if everything he's saying here is just so wrong. Get Steve Irwin in here. Yeah, you're right. He's definitely doing a weird voice there.
You know what it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of the Matt Damon non-accent in... oh my gosh, what was him and Adam Driver and Jodie Comer? We didn't have
Last Duel.
Last Duel.
He's just Matt Damon.
Like fake French non-accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the little shot through the briars there. That's almost kind of maybe foreshadowing to some of the berms or whatever they set up, fortifications they set up later.
Okay, so this says that giraffes tend to sleep during the night, although they do take naps during the day, and that they can sleep lying down or standing up. And their sleep cycles are short, not 5 minutes short, but like 35 minutes or shorter. So they
but multiple times throughout the day.
Exactly. So they get more sleep than 5 minutes a day.
But possibly not a lot at a time. Yeah. Right. They power nap constantly.
But hey, if you're, what year is this?
That's true. 1898.
In 1898.
That might have been the conventional wisdom at the time. Yeah.
Right. Or he's just like, he's not going to know if I'm full of shit. I can make up whatever facts I want.
But yeah, so like these broad strokes are accurate. Like in 1898, like I'm pretty sure I read that it was 1895 when the British actually took over this area of Kenyan from maybe, I forget who had it before, but the Brits took over about 1895, wanted to put a bridge in, because it's all about trade and just getting goods and services obviously across the continent here. So they were putting in a railroad about this time, and John Patterson was brought in to take the lead on that project, which is what we're seeing now in the film.
And these would have been, which I think they showed a little, but these would have been mostly imported Indian workers.
That's what I was thinking.
Not necessarily native African.
Right. That's what I was thinking, but I couldn't remember. But in the movie, they look mostly African, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's talking about Indians.
Okay, so there were both.
Okay.
So this is modern-day Kenya.
Right.
I don't know if we said that already.
Oh, right. And the railroad is like connecting it to Uganda, right?
No, the railroad goes from Lake Victoria in the west to Mombasa, which is a port city on the east coast of Kenya.
Oh, the entire thing. I think I could talk about all the different segments, though, too, that were ultimately combined, I thought.
Actually, you know what? At the time... Oh, no, because at the time, Tanzania was still German East Africa.
Okay.
So this would have been... I wonder if Uganda and Kenya were not separate entities at this point, though, if it was all just part of, like, a British colony. Right. I didn't look too much into the geography, but...
Right. I like the disgust on the guy's face at his horrible accent. He's just, like, staring down Val, like, really? That's the best you can do? Don't... I was gonna say, don't you have an Oscar? But I don't know. I don't think Val's ever been. Has Val Kilmer been nominated for an Oscar? Wait, that's
Sir Davos.
Holy cow! Nice.
The Onion Knight.
Still has all his fingers there. Someone's got to keep Melisandre in check. Promise I haven't seen this movie in so long. I'm kind of not really talking and just watching.
Yeah.
1997 though, right? I'm pretty sure I saw this in the movie theater freshman year in college. Like with some teammates and stuff. I remember we really liked it.
It is a fun movie. Like...
Yeah. Well, especially when Michael Douglas comes in. Michael Douglas kind of steals the show, I feel like.
Yeah. And it does everything it wants to do. Like, it's suspenseful. There's, cool action. It did, I think, hit up the Wikipedia page to make sure, but I'm pretty sure it won, like, an Academy Award in the technical... One of the technical awards.
Wait, he looks familiar, too. I think one of the YouTube videos I was looking into to talk about the historical inaccuracies or whatever, and just reviewing the movie in general, talked about it's a really good movie with bad performances in the leads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably a fair assessment.
I would describe it pretty much the same way. Yeah.
Which is the same, because I really like Val Kilmer and Michael Douglas. So at some point, is that on them or the directors?
All right, so this is the first time that we've actually seen any of the lions.
Which, in the movie, have manes.
Right.
But the Man-Eaters of Tsavo did not actually have manes because the lions in this part of Africa don't have manes.
Tsavo lions, for some reason, and I don't even think that they know why, but for some reason, Tsavo lions, male lions, do not have manes.
I thought they said it was maybe just as simple as the heat. It's just way too hot for manes in that part of Africa.
A heat thing, or like a vegetation, like the...
okay.
We see later on in the movie when they build the big fences out of those thorny bushes, and the lions are able to just kind of slip right through them.
Yeah. Part of that, there's more brush and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they already killed the lion. So I forgot this is only a 15-minute movie.
It's a short.
Oh, so the ghost is the lion, and then the darkness is when the credits roll. Like, it's just the movie's over, cut to black. Yeah.
It's the ghost of the dead lion that they killed 15 minutes in.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. It's the actual ghost. The other thing, too, is they talk about... I couldn't really find a good source of this. I found one source talking about that they took... The reason the locals called them the Ghost in the Darkness was based on a local tribal legend, and that's why they named them after the local tribal legend, but I couldn't find the history of that actual legend. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'd be curious to know what that full legend is, but I couldn't find it. It's a hard thing to actually Google. This guy is not prepared. Falling out of trees, stuff blown away. Are those supposed to be tiger or lion scars on his cheeks? Or just...
I think so.
Those do not look realistic at all. They're too perfect.
Or maybe they're just...
Like representative,
nondescript animal scars to show that he, Oh no, he has them. No, I think that's
paint.
Yeah, because he has the exact same on both sides of his face.
And down his nose. Well, this is where Maximus went to. Oh, is Maximus the ghost? That'd be a good twist. What are they doing?
I don't know. That was kind of strange.
Sending longing looks at each other. This would be a whole different kind of movie. What happened in the last 7 weeks? I guess we're just jumping ahead to we have a little more railroad built now.
It was business as usual because they thought they killed the lion, so nothing was happening.
Oh, and they were right because there must have been no lion attacks in the last 7 weeks.
So this did win an Oscar for Best Sound Editing.
Okay.
Which
I can see. Yeah. With the trains and the guns and the lions. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Lots of things that make sound in this movie.
It's simultaneously like a good movie that has an Oscar in a technical category, but also Val Kilmer was nominated for a Razzie for Worst Supporting Oscar, Worst Supporting Actor this year.
Look up Val. Has Val ever been... I feel like he's been nominated for an Oscar before. I can't think of what. Maybe The Doors? I don't think he's ever won, but I feel like he's probably nominated. But I also wouldn't be surprised if not. He kind of doesn't do Oscar movies, I guess, typically.
No, he has not won an Academy Award.
No, I knew he hadn't won, but not nominated either?
Not nominated either.
Okay.
He has won multiple MTV Movie Awards.
Nice.
3 times for Most Desirable Male.
Let me see if I can guess then.
Okay.
The Doors?
No.
Oh, really? Tombstone?
Yes. And 2 years later...
Oh, Top Gun?
No, 2 years later.
2 years after Tombstone?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm trying to think what would have been... I'm getting confused with... I was going to say City of Angels. I'm getting confused with Nick Cage. Okay, I give up.
Batman Forever.
Oh, yeah.
And Heat.
Okay, yeah. Not Top Gun. Come on, MTV. Iceman smoking.
Well, I don't even think there was MTV Movie Awards.
Okay, there was MTV, but probably not the Movie Awards yet. You're right. That's fair. I don't know if you noticed, but I basically have the same glasses.
Yeah. Did you do that on purpose? Did you get them after this movie?
Not right after, but yeah, after. I've had those glasses forever since I only wear them like in the morning and the evening when I don't have my contacts in. And so they're like 20 years old. And yeah, I think I even intentionally thought that they were kind of like this one, these glasses. There you go. So I wear John Patterson's glasses. Wait, so which guy's we had that narrator at the beginning? Have we seen him in the context of the story here yet then?
I don't know. I haven't.
We haven't really been watching close enough.
Is it supposed to be Samuel? Is that supposed to be the narrator?
That sounds right, yeah. Uh-oh. Ominous music. And this to me doesn't feel, I don't know, well, maybe it's alright.
This is very...
Well, no, he doesn't fight. He's just basically like, what are these lions doing? Should I get up and run? Nah. What are these lions doing?
This also feels very Jaws to me.
Yeah, oh yes.
They're working really hard to not have to show the lion.
But this guy doesn't seem really interested in trying to save himself.
Well, he's grabbing the grass.
Well, I know, but like when he first got dragged out, and then like the lion felt like let him go for a second, he's just like, this is weird.
I don't know, he's probably really tired.
Really tired.
Working all day on the railroad.
Okay, well, at some point, you probably get woken up by, a lion attack. Yeah, that feels a little odd. I'd be curious too, would a lion drag you away or just eat you where you're at?
I don't know. Probably depends. I mean, think about like
That's kind of gruesome.
If it wants to, oh look, Pooch hears all the animal noises.
Oh.
And thinks there's something in the TV.
Who eats your feet first? That's right, no one would eat feet first. Wait, so they killed the lion earlier because of lion attacks, but then this attack to them feels completely new? So were there previous fatalities to the man-eaters? Or just there was no attacks but no fatalities, right? Like the one guy had the limiting leg?
Oh, yeah, I think
so. So basically this is almost like the beginning of the man-eaters.
Right.
Which is actually accurate, right? Because it's kind of when the railroad started building there was when these attacks started, yeah. But then we heard Samuel's voiceover again.
And this, him sitting up in the tree to hunt, that is accurate.
Yeah, he would actually do that, yeah.
His hunting method.
And I'm trying to remember, even some of the baiting they do later, was that true?
Yes. Like with the
cart?
Like in the train car?
Yeah. If you want to go see the actual lions, they are in, the Chicago Museum of Natural History?
The Field Museum.
Field Museum in Chicago? Yeah. I forgot what it was called. Their stuff, I said it was also, though, they're smaller than they were when they were alive because Patterson had to have them cut to make rugs out of, so he basically reduced the skin size, so when they stuffed them, they were smaller.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. So they tested hairs from those lions.
Oh, yeah.
To find out how many people they had eaten in like the last whatever months of their lives.
Right.
I'm not sure exactly how that test works. I think it's similar to like how you can do the drug tests by someone's hair.
Okay.
And I think it was like they determined that it was less than 30, but that was assuming that they killed and then entirely consumed a person.
Right.
Whereas, I mean, and we're seeing it right. They were just talking about it. They're not killing because they're hungry. Like they're just killing people because it's like entertainment. It's fun for them. Right.
So they're not mutually exclusive. They could have only eaten 30-some, but they could have killed another 100 more, and then both accounts are right.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I thought Patterson said like 135.
Yeah. Patterson said 135, but there were people that said that that number's way too high, and I guess the highest confirmed hard number is the less than 30, 20 something that they found using the testing, but it is likely somewhere in between those two numbers, or it could be as high as 135 as well.
We would also think that could they not write down the names of the people that died?
Well, that's the thing. This is a British operation, and
right.
All of the workers are native Africans or Indian, so
they don't even care.
It's kind of like a who cares.
That's crazy. Yeah. More British imperialism stuff. I'm trying to figure out who that guy is. The skinny guy there with the mustache. He looks kind of familiar, but I can't place him.
What's his character's name?
That I don't know either, which makes it tough. He should be a top 10 credits guy.
So the actor's name is Brian McCarty. Just scrolling through his other credits, I don't think I've seen any of these. It says he was in Snatch, but it's the TV series, not the movie.
There's a TV series? Is it related?
Apparently, I don't know. I mean, it looks like it's related. I've never even heard of it.
And this is fairly accurate too, with like the age of his wife and kid and all that timing with this.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't realize either. This is actually like the third movie based off of The Man-Eaters of Savo, which is the name of the book that Patterson wrote.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a 1952 movie called Buona Devil, and a 1959 movie called Killers of Kilimanjaro.
And they're all about these lions?
They're all
the same story, basically?
Let me see. Like I said, this is based off the book. Yeah, let's see. Buona Devil says it's kind of a B-movie adventure kind of thing.
Huh.
And, yep, Uganda Railway. It doesn't have Patterson as a character, but it's the same kind of thing. The advertising tagline: "The miracle of the age, a lion in your lap, a lover in your arms." And then Killers of Kilimanjaro. It was Robert Taylor. I think he's the lead in the 1960 version of Time Machine that I like. Maybe.
Man, I had forgotten how good the gory parts in this movie are. Like,
oh no, yeah, even though that first kill, it
doesn't linger on it for too long, because I'm sure it would start to look like rubbery and weird. But like the practical effects that they have, these lions eating these mannequins, it actually looks good.
Even the lion itself, there, like, can get the bloody mane, and I mean that wasn't horrible. They kind of slowed it down on purpose, but
yeah.
Ooh, there's the Foley work there for your sound, Oscar, with the crunching bones.
That was a split diopter shot right there with the two lines. That was pretty cool looking too.
Man, you always catch those. I could never even notice them.
So after he was fighting these lions, John Patterson served in the Second Boer War, which we talked about in Breaker Morant.
Oh yeah. I read that and forgot about it.
And then he commanded the West Belfast Regiment of the Ulster Volunteers of Northern Ireland, which we talked about in The Wind That Shakes the Barley. Well, not that unit specifically. That's
right, yeah, because like basically John Patterson has actually been in our timeline multiple times.
And then he was in World War I, fighting in the Gallipoli campaign with the. So he was really big into the early Christian Zionist movement.
That's right.
And he's actually he's considered the father of the Israeli Defense Force.
That's right.
He led an all-Jewish unit in World War I.
But like in this really almost like creepy way where he's a Christian that supports the Jews because the Jews need to bring about the second coming.
Oh, really?
That's what he's not Jewish. He's a Christian Zionist.
He's not Jewish, but he's he's big into the Jews having their
But I looked on the Wikipedia page for the Christian Zionist stuff. So that's like basically what it said. Like, because the Jews need to be in Israel for Jesus to return.
Oh.
So it's almost like they're trying to bring on the second coming kind of thing. So that's also a whole little side point of his character.
Yeah.
That's definitely not in this film at all. But yeah, that's definitely crazy that he's in so many different movies we've discussed, or at least in the periphery thereof. Okay, and I was way wrong on the Robert Taylor guy who's in the Killers of Kilimanjaro. Rod Taylor is in the Time Machine movie I was thinking of. I don't know who Robert Taylor is. There's a character in Killers of Kilimanjaro called Hooky Hook.
So Patterson became close friends with Benjamin Netanyahu's father, Benzion, and he named his first son, Yonatan, after him.
That's right, I read that as well. That's kind of crazy. Well, and then we talk about, too, that Netanyahu's older brother, with that same Jonathan, was killed during the Munich stuff.
Is that the same guy? Yes.
Right?
He is. Yeah, that's the same guy.
Crazy.
That's so. He has so many connections to other episodes.
More than about anybody who's not, famous.
Yeah.
Like, Churchill makes sense to be everywhere, but John Patterson is everywhere? You would never think. How much better would this have been if it was Ralph Fiennes instead of Val Kilmer? From the accent work to start with.
I wonder if they cast him just because he would have been a draw.
Oh, it was a financial thing? Get people to the Val Kilmer movie?
There's no reason they can't get a British guy.
This is the year after The English Patient. You totally get Ralph Fiennes and be somewhat marketable with it.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not even doing it.
Right.
That is just Val Kilmer's voice.
But it seems like sometimes he's trying a little bit.
I almost respect that, though. he's like, yeah, I'm just not going to do it.
I'm a movie star. Yeah.
Well, he's like, maybe he knows that like accents aren't his thing, so he's like, I'm just going to just suspend your disbelief.
You're right, and definitely more of a 90s thing. I feel like nowadays they make more of a point to get those things correct, and they don't necessarily fear the box office loss of not having a major star there. I mean, they still do those kinds of things, but like a movie like this, just make a better movie and you make more money. Again, I feel bad because I like Val Kilmer, but... Okay, so here's the first trap. Oh, there you go. He said schedule. He's very British.
Yeah, that's kind of poor coincidental timing that it's like, oh, I show up and then all of a sudden these lines start attacking.
Right. And then if you have a superstitious tribe, they associate it with you.
Like if he shows up 2 months later after there's a few line attacks,
right?
Like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll help you out.
Also, I don't know if we mentioned obviously why the lions might have liked the taste of man flesh, but also male lions typically hunt alone. So not just the going after men was weird, but hunting as a tandem was kind of unique.
Yeah.
I think I saw a video where it said this was accurate too. Like they should have the lion point blank, and they just miss.
Because it was going nuts, and it was like shaking the car.
Right.
And it was moving, and they're moving, and the car's moving, and it just, even though they're so close.
And hard to keep your poise, but apparently that's accurate. Although I don't see how he could have got, because he didn't just get back out the other end here. I don't see how that's realistic.
They shoot the door. The chains that's holding up those railroad ties or whatever it is on the other end.
Oh, okay. There we go. And then it jumps out. Okay.
That's actually accurate too. That one of the guys in the cage had hearing damage because of how loud the lion was roaring.
Oh, that's crazy.
This movie does a good job for it being 1996 and, CGI not being what it is today. Like the editing to have it look like those guys are actually fighting.
Right. It wasn't great, but it was pretty good. Yeah.
That's a very Wyatt Earp from Tombstone move.
Oh, yeah. Do you feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? He looks... Dula there looks familiar, too.
He's been in a bunch of stuff. He's been in a lot of Indian movies. Om Puri is the actor's name.
I'll pull it up, because I've seen more Indian movies than you, so... Well,
he's also been in a lot of American movies where he plays like an Indian guy. Like he was in, he was the president of Pakistan in Charlie Wilson's War.
Ah, okay.
I'm trying to look through here and see what other stuff he's been in.
Well, he's got over 300 credits on IMDb.
Yeah, Muhammad Zia-ul Haq in Charlie Wilson's War.
Is it me, or is Michael Douglas an American doing a bad American accent? Okay, so the Samuel guy, who I guess is like his little right-hand African guy here, right there. He's in Black Panther. Is he the king?
He's King T'Chaka from Civil War when they get in the bombing.
Right. So is that Black Panther's dad?
Yeah. The one that dies. Yeah.
Okay. And problem is, we know that Michael Douglas' character here is an amalgamation, but we don't actually have the names of those people he's based on, do we? Or if we do, there's like no real information on them.
Yeah, I mean, it might say in the book or something. I didn't see it anywhere online.
And he brought that tribe with him, right? Kind of, Michael Douglas? They were like in the grass and stuff when he showed up.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. They're implying that he's like from the South in Civil War?
Yeah, well, I think he was trying to do a Southern accent. But again...
Is that why he has a bad American accent? He's trying to do a Southern?
A bad American accent because he's trying to do Southern, but it's just not very good.
Not very good / existent.
Right.
That's the untested weapon in question. Like I said, that's that line I always go constantly, because there's always something you come up with, whether it's sports-wise or in some other game. Just anytime you try something that you haven't tried before, I always say you went to battle with an untested weapon.
What is that from?
This.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I'm saying I use it. It's coming up because he just switched guns with that guy, and then that gun's gonna misfire.
Right.
And he's like, "Oh, it's not my gun."
Because he when he's like face to face with the lion, and
it clicks. It dry clicks. Yeah.
And it does that dolly zoom.
Yeah.
So they were just talking about, his country just fought a bloody civil war. It's like, what was that about? I wonder what the Civil War, what they were fighting over.
Yeah, they didn't really mention that, did they?
See what he says.
And actually, it's kind of interesting because you think of his character's age. So this is 35 years after the end of the American Civil War.
He might actually be a Civil War vet.
Yeah, like legit. Yeah, that would time out about pretty well. And even if he's only 50 here, that's 15, which is Civil War fighting age.
Right.
Cool visuals here with like the more British garb, the green of the grass, and then the tribal get-ups. I don't know, and I don't know enough about to know if any of that's accurate as far as like the tribal look. Well, I also figure Kenya. You think about the Kenyan flag? Kind of looks like
the shield.
Yeah.
You still have that Kenyan flag hanging up somewhere in your house? I remember you had it at Epic.
Yeah. So my junior year of high school in speech class, we had to like pick a country to talk about for a speech, and so my visual aid was just kind of, I mean, nothing too fancy, but like hand drew a Kenyan flag, like 14 inches by 20 inches, and I still have it. Kind of picked them just because of the distance running connection. And Kenya does have a really cool flag.
Yeah.
That was not him. That's part of that Oscar-winning sound work there.
Yep.
Let me just cover my mouth here while That's so bad.
The music in this movie is really good too.
It's kind of crazy that the worst pieces are the most expensive ones. Let's see. So if we go with Ray Fiennes for the Val Kilmer role, who would we cast as the plucky American hunter? Ooh, you know what'd be good? Val Kilmer.
Yeah. I was trying to think who at this time would have been around Michael Douglas's age.
Oh, give me a Daniel Day-Lewis, man.
It would have been way too expensive for this movie, though.
More expensive than Val Kilmer?
That's a good point. Yeah, because this is the year after Batman Forever Val Kilmer, so this might be peak expensive Val Kilmer.
Right.
1996.
And Michael Douglas would have had American President right around this time.
Yeah.
But Daniel Day-Lewis was like maybe in one of his mini hiatuses, and this is pre Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously he had the Oscar for Mile of the Foot, but that was kind of an indie film.
Well, this would have been after Last of the Mohicans, though, right?
Yeah, I believe so. That's worth checking.
And this is after The Crucible.
All right about the same time.
So, like, his acting chops would have been well known at this time.
That's true. But I don't think he's necessarily a box office draw kind of guy.
Yeah.
So Ghost in the Darkness, 96. Shoot, isn't The Crucible also? Crucible, 96.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's why they couldn't get him.
That's true, he was busy. I'm trying to think who else. Someone about that age that's like, like an Edward Norton's way too young. Like, so you want someone with like the gravitas still.
You know who would have been fun in that role, but is probably too young and would not have been menacing, but more of a, I don't know, maybe probably would have taken a lighter tone? Oliver Platt. As the hunter guy?
That'd be fun. Click. I do love his eyes widening.
Yep.
And that's what do you call that kind of zoom in?
It's a dolly zoom.
Dolly zoom?
Yeah.
That's actually a beautiful shot. But again, it is kind of crazy. Everything about this movie is good except those two main guys.
Yeah.
I guess who is the director? Stephen Hopkins.
I don't know that I'm familiar.
Yeah, I feel like the name sounds kind of familiar. He's 35 directing credit.
A Nightmare on Elm Street 5.
Ooh, he's doing a Dark Tower TV movie. Or sorry, did in 2020 and I never heard about it.
Lost in Space.
Oh, he's mostly a TV guy, huh?
And the first season of 24.
Huh. There it is. Oh, Unproven Rifle. Okay, I guess I always say it wrong. All those common misquotes. I said Untested Weapon.
Okay, I've got it. Brad Pitt, at his age now, time travels back to 1996 and does Lieutenant Aldo Rain for this hunter guy.
I think that just might be your masterpiece. I want my lion scalps.
I'm in the lion killer business, and cousin, business is a boom.
Every tribesman here owes me one lion scalp.
Your status as a lion hunter is still amateur. We came to see if you want to go pro.
We got a lion here that wants to die for his country. Oblige him. Let's turn this off and watch Inglourious Basterds instead. Have you seen The American President with Douglas from the same time?
Yeah, where he's
the single president.
It's like him trying to date.
It's a net betting. I always really liked it. It's Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah.
I think it's underrated.
I've only seen it the one time. I don't remember much about it other than that I liked the Sorkin dialogue.
I just remember before they finally sleep together, he says, like, now, any preconceptions you might have about me being, and she says, the most powerful man in the world. And he's like, yeah, it's more of a title, really. The other one I always kind of coupled that with is Dave with Kevin Kline and Sigourney Weaver. It's just because it's also about the president.
I don't think I've never seen that one.
And they came out about the same time, within a year or two of each other, I think. And that one is almost like a Prince and the Pauper thing. Okay. The president goes into a coma, and well, they're both played by Kevin Kline, but like he plays a nobody who looks just like the president.
Oh. Okay, I've heard that movie, but I've never seen it.
So they bring him in just so no one freaks out that the president's incapacitated,
right?
And he just pretends to be the president, but then, of course, ends up being better than the actual president at being president.
Yeah, and doesn't he realize, like, oh, I have, like, the power, because what are they going to do?
Yes, and he actually gets, like, some progressive legislation done, and it's actually, it's cute. It's kind of charming. It's very unrealistic, obviously, and crazy illegal if they got caught.
Yeah,
especially
right.
They might even mention in the movie, this is technically a coup.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, this is the one where they set up the fake hospital with all the blood, and then
right. So they move all of the patients into a new hospital on the other side of camp, and where the old hospital is, they basically butcher a cow and put a bunch of like fresh meat and blood all over the place.
Oh, there's a little bit of almost Southern accent. Why can't these guys act?
I don't know. Maybe they spent all the money getting Michael Douglas and Val Kilmer, and they didn't have anything left over to hire them accent coaches.
Yeah.
And also, it's 1996. They probably just did not care.
No, you're right. We're kind of at the tail end of where you would have the colorblind casting. You know what I'm saying? Like, you would cast the white people to play anybody. Not that these guys, I mean, these characters would have been white, but like, as far as not worrying about... Oh, it's also the whole thing where, like, you would never actually dub a language. You would just speak in English and call it a different language, like, and all that.
World War II movies where all the Germans speak English.
Exactly. We're still kind of in that era, which we've kind of gone away from, fortunately. He's where he realizes that they're in the wrong place. Yep. That's kind of a good moment. I am still picturing Daniel Day-Lewis in this role now, but I'm also doing it like the last of the Mohicans way. So he's just yelling to Patterson, "Stay alive, no matter what occurs. I will find you." They do probably do a good little, almost like the Raptors in Jurassic Park. They kind of make the lions too smart.
Yeah, but I mean, they were in real life. Like,
I know they fail at killing them, but it seems like they're almost like they are kind of this supernatural intelligent. I guess I always think, like, in real life, it was probably just more they sucked at hunting them, not that the lions were actually that smart. Just the things that usually work didn't work.
Yeah.
But not because the lions knew better. I thought they liked to eat feet first.
Maybe that was just the one guy.
He had tasty feet. See, I like to think of that as being like, you know, Black Panther's dad versus Davos the Onion Knight.
I think that shot was just a guy in a lion suit tackling another guy.
It didn't look great, but I don't know if it looked that bad. Get like the ROUS's in Princess Bride.
It's the Wizard of Oz lion suit. Just a guy on two legs.
If I were king of the forest. So are there only 2 guns in the whole camp? Is that the idea?
Well, I think there's 3.
3 guns. Oh yeah, that's the one that doesn't fire.
That was actually a thing in these railroad camps, is there's no guns. Like, the only people that had guns, you know...
Oh, because
like him and a couple other
the
guys.
Brits don't want to arm the locals.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because then it's like, yeah, we're not building this railroad.
And they also, you know, he's asking for the
soldiers. Oh no, Davos!
He's asking for the soldiers. They're not going to send in, like, British military, especially when there's, like, places that are way more contested militarily. Then, like, this is just a railroad site. And they don't care how many...
Right, the only threat is wildlife. Right.
They don't care how many native Kenyans or, you know, Indians...
But they do care at the delay, because here's all the workers now leaving.
Right, yeah. But they don't care how many of them get eaten, as long as the railroad gets built.
Wow.
Because, and I don't know what the actual numbers are, but I'm sure that it's a substantial number of... the number of workers that died from just, like, accidents or heat exhaustion or disease was probably dwarfed the number that ever died from lion attacks.
No, right. But this happened too, right? Where the workers all leave at one point?
Yeah.
and then basically in real life they killed the lions, the workers come back, which is kind of what's going to happen here.
I'm pretty sure that's correct, yes.
I say spoiler alert, but if you're watching this movie along with us and haven't seen it before, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, thank you. Probably better to do it that way anyway, since it doesn't hold up that great. It's a good hat. Where are his cool glasses?
They're not combat effective. Maybe that's why he keeps missing.
Oh, true. It's not like he has contacts.
Right. Maybe he just decided to start seeing. You could do that, right?
Yeah.
You're just being lazy and wearing the contacts. You could, if you really wanted to, you could just see, Rich.
You can do anything. You gotta believe. Don't give up on yourself. What was the guy saying in UFC last night?
Oh, yeah. Stand up for yourself.
Then stand up for yourself.
Yeah. That is kind of a badass looking necklace with those lion claws on it.
Oh, yeah. And didn't Patterson actually kill both the lions himself eventually? Like he had the help, but the kills were actually both Patterson?
I'm not sure. I know that they both got killed, obviously. I just don't know if he's the one who actually delivered the kill shots on both of them.
Where was this filmed?
Don't know.
South Africa.
Okay.
Because of tax laws, it says. Which is probably must have been cheaper to film in South Africa. Okay, and this is also saying, like, so the reason they didn't go with the maneless lions, one, it does look better on film to have lions with big manes. Just because that's what American audiences especially are used to.
And it's probably harder to tame
yes.
the Savo lions.
Exactly. Yeah, they said basically the maneless lions are more aggressive, so it's just not worth using them.
Well, and for entertainment, like there are companies that have lions that are already...
Oh, right. You'd basically have to get new lions to tame, yeah.
Right, you would have to go find the lions and then try and tame them, and then hope that they don't maul somebody on set.
Right. Okay, so this is where they find that layer with all the bones, right?
Yes.
Which I'm trying to think, wasn't that accurate too?
So...
Or something like it?
He says, this is basically how he described it, was that, you know, this lion's lair with all the human bones, and then the only clue that anybody had was a photo of the outside of the cave, and for a lot of years they just didn't know where that cave was.
Oh, okay.
I think it did end up getting found, but I don't think that there was like the piles of human bones in them.
But there was some or something. It was okay. I forget what it was. Ooh, the lions drew self-portraits. Lions, don't do this. They'll know we've been here. They're gonna dox me, and all the lions are gonna come to my house. Yeah, I don't think they had a warrant before they went in there.
Oh yeah, they're definitely violating those lions' Fourth Amendment rights. All right, so it says that researchers did find the cave and spent 3 weeks excavating it, but didn't find any evidence of the human bones.
Oh, okay. So was Patterson in India before this, like they're mentioning here a couple times? I don't see anything about that. Because he only would have been 21 in
yeah, I don't think
1898.
So. I don't think so.
So it's almost like this was his first thing, yeah. They kind of made him a little older then, didn't they? Because Val Kilmer's definitely not 21 here.
Oh, so this says that they even searched areas where remains would have been carried by floods and didn't find anything.
Uh-huh.
It said it's possible the remains were carried away by other people or scavengers, but more likely Patterson actually discovered an internment site used by indigenous Taita people.
Okay, so he wasn't lying, but he didn't realize what he had found.
Yeah.
That actually might time out, right? We're talking about like December 1898? Because all this just happened over the course of a few weeks and months, right?
Yeah. December of 1898. The first lion is killed on the 9th of December, and the second one is killed on the 29th.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, and this says that he was the one who actually killed both of them.
Okay, that's what I was thinking.
Is he pooch on the ground there?
Listen
to the baboon noises?
Yeah.
Look at her.
Yeah, Logan's dog is enjoying the movie.
She thinks there's something in the TV stand.
Yeah, she's looking for the baboon in the TV stand. So like the lion's night vision.
Yeah.
Well, he sees the black and white, but then there was red blood at the bottom of that.
Maybe he can see the blood. Maybe he sees in... Schindler's List vision. Oh, I was going to say Sin City.
Oh, Sin City. That's better. That's better. That's better. That was kind of a bad owl. There's no way this happened.
Yeah.
Although, again, Patterson was kind of a exaggerator, so he might have written about it. Well, I say that. I'm sorry. I keep kind of comparing Patterson to John Smith as far as exaggerating his exploits, but it may just be we can't corroborate them. Not that he's necessarily lying. He was either just wrong or can't be corroborated. But
yeah,
maybe he's actually a little more forthright than I've been giving him credit for.
I say it's more likely that he's like a T.E. Lawrence. Like, some of the stuff he's writing about is accurate, but also he makes everything sound a little bit cooler.
Right. And again, everything's with that extra little shadow of he wanted the Jews to take over Israel so that Jesus would come again.
Why was he even into that stuff at this point?
Oh,
I didn't think that was the case until later on.
I gotcha. I mean, Zionist movements go way back, but I don't know at what point he bought into it.
She's sniffing every single shelf.
She's gonna find that baboon.
She says it's in here somewhere.
she's climbing up in with the DVD player. Interesting. So they just had Michael Douglas kill that one, huh?
No, he killed it.
Oh, that was Patterson?
Yeah, because he shot it with the pistol when he fell off the thing.
Oh, I thought Michael Douglas just had his gun trained on it. It was like Michael Douglas was late getting there, and so Val saved him.
You think John Patterson had frosted tips like that in 1998?
Yeah, most likely. I was thinking about the other guy's ears with the little extended lobes.
Oh, yeah.
And how that's just gotta be some kind of makeup. Or the John Patterson had that as perfect to teeth as Val Kilmer.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember what I read about his marriage, too. I was thinking that, like, something was off with it. Like, did his wife die young or something weird?
Oh. Did his wife ever visit him in Kenya?
They were married in 1895, so 3 years before this. Oh, this is a dream. Sorry, spoiler alert. Uh-oh. Save us, Pooch.
You know, he's having those weird dreams from all the malaria medication he's probably taken, because you have to take those when you go to Africa, you know?
Makes sense.
You got to take that, what's the doxycycline, or what's the other one?
Oh, I'm not a pharmacist. It's Charles Michael Douglas. I don't even know their character names.
Yeah. The music in this movie is so good. Listening to this makes me want to go on an African expedition.
Those thorns would rip him to shreds.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they kind of did, but it's pretty superficial.
That makes me want to pick up my rifle and go run across the African plains and hunt a lion.
The no corpse, no death rule gets a little tougher when corpses can be consumed. Or did he just cover the corpse?
I think he just covered the corpse.
Okay. Yeah, the music is good. Blood, fire, lions, yeah. Oh, he's not an arsonist.
It seems kind of dangerous to just indiscriminately set a giant grass fire like that.
Oops. Of course.
How unfortunate.
Right. What are the odds?
That his gun fell right through the gun size hole. I wonder why he's got that, like, double barrel percussion cap pistol when, like, revolvers totally existed at this time.
Or just better weapons?
I don't know.
Get down. I get down and he's going to start eating me.
Yeah. Also, I'm going to call bullshit that Val Kilmer cannot run faster than a fully grown male lion.
Yeah, this is a little Leia getting chased than Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah.
And lions can climb decently well, I think, right?
Oh yeah, all cats can.
Okay.
I haven't seen videos of lions doing it, but have you seen, like...
Wouldn't it be better to take the shot than to throw the gun? Oh, I guess. It's just clearly yes now, but... Yep, he just broke things.
He must have the no fall damage cheat code turned on.
Okay.
Because that's the second time he's taken a fall from like 25 feet up and has just been completely fine.
Also, do you roar as you get shot? You think you just, like, that would stop the roar. But, yeah, that wasn't great, but it works. Lion dead. Music happy.
But yeah, have you seen videos of, like, the leopards that'll, like, carry a...
Oh, like a whole gazelle. Yeah, up into the tree, yeah.
Yeah.
So no one tries to steal their lunch.
Right.
He died of dysentery. So I guess we should say, too, so, like, the railroad didn't actually last that long. Or, sorry, I guess I should say it got folded into other lengths of railroad. So if you look at it, when they talk about the building of it, it went defunct not long after it was built, but then I think that's just because it got folded into, yes, this is defunct in 1929, but I think that's technically because it just got reincorporated into a larger railway system. So I was actually got a little confused on what the state of this length of track was in the future, because it says defunct, but that may have just been incorporated into a larger railway system. So I'm not actually sure if this length of railroad still exists today or not.
Is the bridge still there?
Well, yeah, I was kind of meaning those like one and the same. Yeah, I couldn't. It's kind of a hard thing to Google. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
because you can't just be like, is the railroad track bridge over the Salvo River that they talked about in Ghost of the Darkness still there? Google doesn't like that in our search.
And even if you found one on Google Maps, like, how would you know
the same one, same location?
There's got to be multiple.
Right. And also they could have rebuilt it and stuff. The railroads do tend to last a while. Simba! And then he joined Maximus in the afterlife. Which Patterson himself, well, he's not the Philippines in Chicago, but he did die in the United States, though. He and his wife moved to California.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and so he actually died in the 40s in California.
Huh.
All right, well, everybody, that was Ghost in the Darkness. Thanks for joining us. This was either a grand success or a colossal disaster.
Oh.
Much like this movie.
Is that a photo of the actual bridge right there?
Oh, maybe. But William Goldman wrote the screenplay?
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about that. Princess Bride and everything else. Yeah, maybe we'll do this again. Maybe we won't. Maybe this episode won't even ever air. But, thank you, Logan. Final thoughts?
I would say be sure to actually watch the movie, but if if you're listening along, you probably already have, or you just did. So...
Yep. Or we also are going to have this as a shorter episode.
Oh, that's right.
Regular bonus episode. But yeah. So, let us know what you think. Maybe we'll do this again.
This was a lot of fun.
It was kind of fun. It was kind of just makes me think. I always remember watching the commentary track to Braveheart, where it's Mel Gibson talking, but he talks so intermittently, kind of like us, or like kind of like we did. So you kind of just forget that he's even there, and it's like shut up, Mel, I'm watching the movie. So. Maybe that was us, but, yep, well, credits are rolling.
Hope we added a little bit of historical context to the...
A little bit, like I said, yeah, overall fairly accurate, and just, with the Michael Douglas character not really existing, and...
Yep, fairly accurate, good movie, bad acting.
Yep. Give it a B-. I say as if we've ever rated any other movie on a grading scale. But yeah, Logan, it's been fun being in the same room while we're watching a movie.
Just like old times.
When was the last time we ever watched a movie together?
Honestly, probably one of the times we watched, what was the Prefontaine movie?
Oh, like Without Limits?
Yeah.
For high school cross country?
Limits.
Yeah. That's fair. All right, credits rolling.
Is that it?
I think that's it. I think we're done.
All right.
That's a wrap. See y'all later.